So here in Kansas City at Catalyst Construction, we frequently do renovation projects that involve old 1950s houses with brick facades and other complexities that prevent me from ripping off the exterior to get the continuity of water and air control that I'm used to from PROSOCO with a Cat 5 barrier over the entire outside. With this particular project, I reached out to Jake Boyer at PROSOCO and said, I don't have access to any of that stuff. How do I achieve the same level of air control that I get from Cat 5, but maybe can I address it from the inside? And you told me about an exciting new product you guys are rolling out. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, so we've got a new targeted interior air seal product. That's going to be applied on the interior side. You get board sheathing behind the bricks. So
right.
We're going to address the joints between the board sheathing. We're going to address the perimeter around the stud cavity there, top to double top plate connection,
okay.
floor to sill connection, basically sealing that portion of it up from the inside. Beyond that, in other places, we can address those details with joint and seam filler or fast flash, and then spray Cat 5 on the interior side of the wall as opposed to the exterior, but very similar detailing to what we would do on the exterior side.
So I'll achieve the same level of high performance continuity of air control, but just doing it from the inside and not having to rip off all this old brick.
Yeah, exactly. Just saves a lot of time and labor by working from the inside as opposed to having to do the exterior renovation as well.
Perfect. Well, I've also got a vaulted roof condition that I need to address, and I'm looking at maybe doing Cat 5 on the back side of the roof. So maybe you can take me inside and walk me through the details?
Yeah, let's do it.
Perfect. All right, Jake, I'm excited about this because, as you can see, the board sheathing behind that brickwork would be a nightmare for me to solve in terms of labor. Now, you guys make a lot of great products, and I could joint and seam filler every single one of these. I could do some fast flash down these tight seams between my double top plate, and I could air seal this and then spray it all with Cat 5. But the board isn't really leaking a lot of air where the board is. It's just where it's cracked and where it's not. Your new product can fill these spaces, is that right?
Yep. Yeah, it's going to build up on the surface. It's not going to expand, but it will allow it to build up, and you'll see that when we start spraying, that I can build up a pretty good depth of the product.
Okay.
Necessary.
And you brought an airless sprayer for this, but you told me there are a lot of options to spray it. Like right. I can even, what'd you say, pull it out with a sausage gun from a bucket and then just push spray it?
Yeah, you use a bulk gun, a bulk extraction gun. So you pull it out kind of like a syringe. It sucks the material up. You turn to your substrate, put your cone tip on there, whatever tip you're using, and apply it just like you would with any sausage material.
So if I was doing like a small bathroom renovation, I had one room, I don't want to set up an airless gun and
right.
clean my equipment for 20 minutes. I could literally just be push and play.
Yep.
Okay, so I think I understand the product, but I want to make sure we have it prepped so that we don't waste product. Like,
right.
Do I need to do anything for this 1/4 inch joint? I know we've got the backer rod at our wider gaps, but right. Is there anything else I need to do here?
Nothing else you really need to do here for prep, as long as you just got a construction clean substrate, I call it.
Oh, so like swept out?
Yeah, swept out, blown off, whatever. Just
okay.
Get any loose material that would allow the product to bond to it, but not to actually to the substrate. Get that stuff out of the way, and then you're good to go.
Well, we talked about the why. Well, you want to show us the how?
Yeah, let's do it.
Put my safety glasses on here. So I know that's not caulking, but looking at it, it kind of just seems like speed caulking. You're flying as compared with the pace that I would actually be able to hit that with joint and seam. Oh, I see what's going on. So you're spraying both sides to build that up?
Right.
Gotcha.
And then any excess material that you've got on there, you can take that and strike it if you want, and then you're just saving a little bit of product, put that down on your next joint and keep going.
And then I really like this yellow color because as a project manager, most of the time, not always a self-performer, I want to be able to walk into a project and immediately assess, do we have a weakness? Do we have somewhere where we failed? I can see with this yellow color, I've got a hole there and I've got a hole there, and now I know what needs to be fixed. And it's not something that I have to lap. I don't have to, oh, go get this different product. This goes over that. Or when you have a spot that's trouble, you need these 3 things. It's just more of the same product, right?
Right. Right, and
cool.
one thing that we can also do is, instead of striking the joints like that, I can put a coat on there, allow it to build up and fill part of that gap, keep going as I work around, and then come back and just touch it up, because now I'll be able to build on the existing stuff that's starting to set up.
Nice.
As opposed to kind of blowing it out of the way as I'm going.
Gotcha. And then I realize that every product has a cure time, and a lot of it is going to rely on the air temperature and the moisture content in the air.
Right.
So we can't say a hard and fast rule, but let's say that I was going to do a room like this, By the time I get to this end, I can come back and touch up that other stuff. It's built enough of a skin on it or whatever.
Right.
Okay. I don't see any need with obviously there's no air moving through this board. If I seal these, I'm done. But if I wanted to, for the sake of continuity, could I use this as a filler and then go back and spray Cat 5 over it?
Yeah,
Are they
absolutely.
compatible?
Yep.
Man, you guys are sharp about that. Do you mind if I try it?
Absolutely. Go for it.
Nice. That is really easy to do. Yeah, this is a lot more fun than running a trowel and a sausage gun for hours at a time.
Everybody likes power tools.
Well, and we have one of those little Graco battery guns, like a little cup gun.
Yeah.
We use that a lot of times for touch-ups. I think you told me that I can run this same product in that.
Yep. Yeah, we've done it in the small, like quart cup size containers. We've done it in the larger, gallon or gallon and a half backpack style sprayer, battery powered.
So you got a lot of options for the job size, your accessibility. Like when we're doing the area up in the gable, I'll be walking around in an attic. Maybe I wouldn't want to deal with a hose.
Right.
A lot of options to apply it, a lot of different ways to use it on the job. But basically, anytime you have two things that you want to have continuity between, the TIAS is a good system to put it where you need it.
Yep.
So a lot of the air leakage into a house occurs actually at the bottom of the wall and the top of the wall. We have stack effect pressures pushing air into the house at the rim and exhausting it through leak points in the ceiling and top wall. It's one of the reasons we're going to use the Cat 5 on the back of our roof. But I wanted to talk about this rim joist connection because we can actually see it from above our first floor. We're going to normally treat this from our basement, but that's a really hard spot to show. This is one of the only places we can show it. So talk briefly, if you would, Jake, about the importance of this connection and what you've done there versus what we're doing here.
Yeah, I mean, the part that you pointed out already, the stack effect, that's what drives a lot of the air infiltration and exfiltration in these building envelopes. So if we can address the foundation wall to the mud sill, to the rim joist, to the bottom plate and the subfloor, all those details, anywhere two materials meet, that's an interface where air can get in. So those are places that we're going to want to address. Those are places that we're going to want to put this target interior air seal product.
So in order to prep for that, we had a gap between the rim joist and the bottom board sheathing joint. You went ahead and tucked some backer rod there,
Right.
But now we're able to run our continuity all the way down into that rim joist and get that sealed connection with your TIAS product.
Yep. So we'll just go right over that. And going on down the sides.
So you're making a connection from the rim joist to the mud sill there, and we can address the mud sill to the foundation from our interior of basement. But this is the alternate application. If you were on slab, you would just be addressing the interface from the bottom plate to the sheathing.
Right, and
Or
we'll
the
still go
subfloor.
ahead and address that here too, just so air can't leak through these gaps. Then we'll fill that a little bit and grab that Bondo knife again and just strike it with some excess.
And that's continuity, and that's what makes the whole system work, is that you do everything.
Right.
All right, Jake, I'm just absolutely thrilled with the way this came out. It's a new to the market product and not a billion uses so far. So I was super impressed with how well the targeted interior air seal worked, and to then be able to go right back through and start hitting Cat 5 on all of our other walls after doing a little bit of prep with joint and seam filler and fast flash. I am extremely confident in the long-term performance of this house, and I just can't thank you guys enough for all that you do at PROSOCO, the amount of time and energy that you put into the research and development, and to have your team out here helping us. It's really been an asset. Is there anything that we should leave our viewers with so that they're ready for their next project that includes a negative side air control strategy?
And the biggest thing I would say was just make sure you contact your local PROSOCO rep and ask the questions. Get us out on site. We're on job sites all day, every day, all across the country. So you got a complicated project like this, we PROSOCO is, we're known as the problem-solving company too. So that's something that we like to do. That's where we live and breathe. And I appreciate you letting us come out and kind of being a guinea pig for some new product development here. We love the feedback that we got. We'll definitely take that back to the lab and incorporate that into the next iteration of future products. So
It's a great partnership, being able to rely on the people that make my job easier, and then maybe even be able to give a little something back with some feedback. That's a great partnership. And the real winner here is going to be this client and really the generations of families that benefit from the engineering to the application. Couldn't get a better outcome in my view.
good, good. I'm glad to be here and appreciate the support.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you on the next one.
See you then.